Today we're going to do a YouTube video on how to freeze sweet corn. The reason I kind of want to do this one is because there's not very many good ones out there. I'm one of these guys that YouTubes every single thing that I do. So if you're one of those, which you probably are, if you're watching this, you may be the same. First thing you want to do is select some pretty good sweet corn that's got a bigger kernel, bigger size kernel. Definitely some good color on that, and you don't want the super duper small stuff. Something like this is just about almost too small because you'll see soon that it's just not much there when you go to cut it off the cob. First step to freezing corn or canning corn or anything you do with corn is to husk it and take the husks off. Pretty elementary. However you want to do it, I do it with a jackknife. And the more silk you can get off it, the better. And that'll definitely make it more tasty, but it's easy to get it off it after you blanch it as well. And we'll be doing that shortly. All right, next step after we husk the corn, we got a full bushel here, about 65 ears. So 5 dozen in a bushel. I pick it myself. I grew about a pound of sweet corn seed this year. I planted it in 4 different stages, about 10 days apart. So this is my third patch of corn. We've already done, I would say probably 40 quart bags of corn already. So we do it in different stages, we do it different times. So that's what a bushel looks like, all husked out and ready to go. So how I do that generally is I'll put it in, I got boiling water here. My wife got boiling for me. So I'll just drop it in here and I'll fill it up, try to keep it all covered up. 4, 5, 6 of them, maybe 7 or 8 in there. Now the water's not boiling no more because you just put cold corn in there. But it doesn't necessarily need to be boiling. The key word to this is blanching. You're not really boiling it, you're not really cooking it, you're blanching it. So you put 4, 5, 6, 7 of them in there, just fill it up nice and full. You can see how full they are. My wife looks at that in a minute. And I'll leave that in there in that hot water for about 5 or 6 minutes at the most, maybe even 4. It'll turn color, it'll get a nice golden color on the yellow ears, on the yellow kernels, and then at that time we'll know it's nice and blanched, ready to go. So I would say somewhere between 3 to 6 minutes. You don't want to really cook it, you just kind of want to get it warm for the most part. So, all right, once I've blanched this for about 5 or 6 minutes, I think we're a little closer to 4. I never really keep track that close. I put it in cold water. By putting it in cold water, you're stopping the cooking process. So a lot of times I'll put ice in here, but as of right now, we just got cold water draining in there. So that's one pan. Here comes the other. So we'll let that sit in there for a little bit. Then we'll put it on another one of these cookie sheets. We've got several of these, so we'll put it on a cookie sheet till it cools enough. And you can let it cool. I let it cool sometimes 20 minutes before I actually start cutting it off the cob. But the key is to cool it down ASAP after you blanch it. So that's the trick. We'll get it all done and we'll show you how we cut it off the cob.
Do you dump out your boiling water?
Not right now, I got more to do.
So you keep the same water?
Same water, yep. Keep right on and going in the same water. For once in a while you gotta clean some of the silk out of there. Because the hot water seems to draw the silk out. And that's good because that way you can get it off there easier. So some corn's are easier to get the silk off than others. This one stays on there pretty tight. So, all right. Okay, I want to show you what it looks like when you do get a good scald on it. I got this is a nice golden yellow, and even the white is kind of a deeper cream color. This here being raw, you kind of see the difference. I mean, this is literally 4 or 5 minutes in the pan. It only boiled the one time when I first started, so it's just that ones might be boiling just a little bit right now, but for the most part it's just really hot water, 180, 190 degree water. Put it in there 3 to 4 minutes, and should come out looking that nice golden yellow. All right, next step is to cut it off the cob. We got it all picked, husked, scalded to about 4 to 5, 6 minutes. It's all, what you'd call cooked. It's all cooled off, nice and cool. So now the next step is to cut it off the cob. I've tried different ways. A lot of people try different ways. I've heard of people with one of these huskers or these things that just wrap around the whole cob and push it right down. Never tried one. Might work real good. Just never got around to getting one. I use a serrated edge knife. That's about my favorite thing to use. just any serrated edge knife seems to work about the best. And just kind of cut it. You kind of feel that cob generally, and you can just kind of lean right into that cob with that knife. Well, that's a nice one right there. And it takes a little practice. Probably shouldn't have started videoing on the very first one. But you don't want to cut into the cob. You just kind of want to shave it off there. And somebody told me to use a bundt cake pan. This is a new design that I just started doing here recently. I've done this about 5 or 6 years, about the same way. So this is a true, proven, tested way to to freeze corn. Done this a lot of times. We've done, yeah, I'd say 6, 7 years. But this is the first time I've used a bundt pan. Works real good. You get all that corn right inside there. I wish it was a little bigger. If it was like this big, it'd be perfect. Because what happens a lot of times is it'll collapse off the side of it. But otherwise, it's good. Now, some people, I got a flaying knife here too. I've used this before, and if you got good at it, it might work. Maybe this one ain't as sharp as it could be. Don't mind it. If I didn't have a serrated edge, probably use that. But I kind of like my serrated edge a little better. Just not quite getting as much. But you can do it any way you want. I mean, there's a variety of. I've heard a lot of people ask if I use one of those trimmers or whatever, but I find it works about the best this way. My dad used to do it this way, and it just seems to work about the best. Just kind of want to lean into that cob. You know, you usually can kind of feel where it's at. Turn it around, do it about 7 or 8 times. But looks like a stop sign when you're done. Kind of like an octagon or whatever. So. And we raise the corn so it's pretty much free, so we don't, if you leave it a little on there, it ain't the end of the world. So, and I do try to keep my videos as short as possible, because I know, I told my wife, I said I don't watch 20-minute videos, so we want to keep it down there. So we'll break away until we put it in the bags. Okay, now we're going to bag the corn. What we got here is some Ziploc freezer bags. Usually you go the better ones of the bunch, the Ziplocs and the freezer bags for sure. Keeps it from getting frostbite. What I got here is I did 31 ears of corn. No, I didn't. I'm sorry, I did 35 ears of corn. The reason that's key is it really doesn't matter so much as what kind of family you got. We used to have 4 boys living at home, plus my wife, so there's 6 of us living at home. We used to do 8 or 9 ears of corn in each bag. That would be about our meal size. We currently have one son just got married last week, and we got one son going into the Navy in another month. So we're going to be down to 2 boys and my wife and I. So what we've kind of determined is probably 6 to 7 ears of corn is probably about what our serving size is going to be. Now if somebody comes over, you can't predict all this stuff. So well, our goal was to do about 7 ears of corn per bag. So what I got here is I got 35 ears of corn. 7 divided by 35 is going to be 5. So I got 5, actually I got enough to do all the corn, but I got 5 freezer bags, so I'm going to fill all these up equally with the corn that I got. This is what 35 ears of corn looks like, all cut off the cob. So what I'm basically going to do is fill these up 5 equal bags ultimately, and there's really no way to do that until you get them all almost full. So we're going to fill them up 5 equal bags, and we're going to close them up. So
almost dropped the camera.
Take it off once I'm. That's in my eyes.
Go.
All right. I finished it off. All 35 ears. We're in here, and now I equally as I could put them all in these bags. Now the one thing I do with these bags is try to get all the air out of them as I can. So I'll like almost shut them, leave it a little bit in the middle, and just kind of push that air all the way out of them, and then just kind of try to seal them. And then I'll take and lay them all out, and you can kind of see that's not much air in there. You don't want to take up all that room in your freezer with air. And then I lay them flat, put them in the freezer like that. So that's basically 7 ears of corn in each one of these bags, which should do it for our family, as small as it's gotten to be. And if we have company, we'll just have to do 2. So that's all for my corn freezing demonstration. Hope this helps. This is the way I like to do it. I've tried a lot of different ones and watched a lot of different videos. This is the one the way I've found to do it the best, and I hope it works for you. And that's all I got to say about that.